Hi everybody, Balrogfanbp here with you for another closed beta survival guide. Today I'm going to be going over the Garden of Terror. In the Garden of Terror you're going to fight the Shamblers, which are little creep waves. There's 2 sets on each side of the map. And then you collect the seeds that they drop, and after you've collected 100 seeds you can create a Garden Terror, which is a big giant siege monster for someone to control and do massive damage to the enemy team's towers and structures and whatnot. There are 2 phases to this map, daytime and nighttime. During the daytime, it just plays like a standard map. You soak experience in lane, grab mercenary camps, try to gank enemy players who are caught out in the open. During the nighttime, that's when you'll be fighting the Shamblers and collecting the seeds that those farmers down there in the corner are working so hard to plant. Since the day phase is pretty basic, let's go ahead and check out what happens at night in the Garden of Terror. At nighttime, in the top and bottom forest, 2 creep camps of small seedlings will spawn, and in the middle, 1 giant boss. You can see the boss right there in the corner and the seedlings on the right. The goal at nighttime is to try and collect more seeds than your opponent by killing more of the camps than they do. This way you can collect seeds and start growing your terror as soon as you hit 100 seeds. The seed count can be found below the mini-map on the bottom right. The small camps provide a decent amount of seeds and can be taken down quickly, but the boss, being a little harder to take down, provides a massive amount of seeds when you kill him. The fights can be fast and furious around the creep camp, so try and grab some seeds. Also, don't miss an opportunity to surprise an opponent and get a kill. Now we can go over the Garden Terror's mechanics. Once you get enough seeds, it'll grow, and you have to wait a little bit of time for it to finish growing. But once it does, you can right-click it, as you can see here. You'll start to channel it, and then you'll take control of the Garden Terror. Now that you're in control of this big bad plant monstrosity, you have special skills you can only use while controlling the Garden Terror. Spore Queen's Curse will set down a little seed in an area, and after a short period of time, it'll turn the enemies who are standing near it into plants. While they're plants, they cannot attack or use abilities. Plant Horror Overgrowth will be placed down as a little potted plant that will expand and disable all enemy structures and deal damage to it around its radius. This is your main tool for dealing damage with the Garden Terror. Your E is also a sprint that will allow you to move around quickly for a short period of time. It helps you stay safe and get to your objective quicker. R will exit you from the Garden Terror. Be careful about hitting R because you don't want to suddenly lose control of the Terror at a bad time. Now, despite how big and imposing the Garden Terror looks, he can be killed rather easily, especially when 5 people gang up on him. I find it best to roam around and drop as many potted plants as possible. Keeping them on the edge of the range of their effectiveness is also good. If you throw it just wide into their base, they'll probably focus the little potted plant and take it out before you get to do much overgrowth damage. I feel like the key to the Garden Terror is keeping him alive as long as his duration allows. In order to do that, don't be afraid to abuse his sprint. Running up and dropping that plant real quick and getting right out of there sometimes is the best option. You want to do as much damage with overgrowth as possible. Don't forget to use the curse to stop the enemy team from doing damage to you or chasing after you effectively. 2 other train of thoughts are group up and push with the entire team, or split push, which means have the Garden Terror go by himself to one lane and focus that one lane and do as much damage as possible, while your team is down handling another lane and doing their thing. Either option is a fine one, but you still want to try to get the most duration out of your Garden Terror no matter what. Sprint is a great tool for this, as is the curse. If you're left alone, just beat down on those buildings. Do whatever you want to do to them. That's fine. But if you start getting ganged up on, don't be afraid to drop a curse and run away. Running through the area where you drop the curse means if the enemy's going to chase you, they're probably going to get cursed. Practice of these various strategies will help you feel more comfortable taking the Garden Terror. Try it out in co-op or something where it's safe to mess around with it. If you don't feel comfortable taking the Garden Terror, usually someone else will. But you may need to step up in the future and grab the Terror, especially if the situation dictates it. So practice makes perfect, people. It's a pretty straightforward map. You just want to make sure you dominate the nighttime and use the Terror effectively, and most of the time you'll come out top with a win. It's worth noting that the mercenary camps will disappear when either team is in control of a Garden Terror. Not to worry though, the camps will return once you either die or the duration expires as the Terror. Then you can go back to grabbing camps. Grabbing camps during the daytime is probably one of the best things you can do simply because there's not a lot going on during the daytime. focus on team fighting and dominating the lanes with camps. Well, that's going to wrap it up for the Garden of Terror today. Just make sure you use his abilities smartly when you're playing here, and then everything should go okay for you. I'm Balrogfanbp. Look for more videos from me and the BlizzPro staff on our YouTube web channel in the coming future. Thank you very much for tuning in, and hope to see you in the Nexus.